Japanese car manufacturers are suffering. They have basically begged the Japanese government to do a deal with the United States. Mazda, for one, have said that they're going to lose more than well over $1 billion this year, this financial year, I should say. And the reason is basically the tariffs in the United States. For these Japanese brands, the US is their most important car market. Probably for most of them, it used to be China. It's now the United States. With these tariffs, they are, well, in the red. They are in the red. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Mazda losing $1 billion, not a big deal. But it is. Mazda is actually a very small car company. In fact, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Subaru, all of them are on the fringe. These are not car companies selling millions of cars a year. And this US tariffs issue for them is astronomical. It is literally getting to the point of make or break. As a result, the Japanese government has done what is a kind of a deal to say, quid pro quo, you could say. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. Thanks to a new trade deal, auto tariffs will be reduced from 27.5% to 15%. Still, it's tough, right? Tough on automakers. They still got to pay a 15% tariff that they didn't have to before. The tariff before Trump administration came into power was 2.5%. So they're going from 2.5 to 15%. In exchange for this deal, Japan will ramp up imports of agricultural products by 75%. So Japan has agreed to buy billions of dollars of United States agricultural products instead of buying them from China. That's basically what they're doing. The Asian country's government has agreed to invest $550 billion in the United States. Now, I should point out the Japanese government has more debt than any other country in the history of mankind by a massive margin, and it's not even close. So $550 billion is a lot of money from a government that, is certainly struggling. Its economy is struggling as well. Anyway, after months of negotiations, the US and Japan have agreed to a new trade deal that will grant some massive reprieve to car brands selling their vehicles in the United States. Specifically, tariffs will remain in place, but will be lowered as Japan will increase purchases of goods from the States and invest $550 billion as well, apparently. In recent months, Japanese car manufacturers have been struggling mightily to deal with 27.5% tariffs. Now, the vast majority of goods it exports to the US will be subject to a 15% levy, including automobiles and also auto parts, which is also a massive industry for them. The new measure will go into effect 7 days after President Donald Trump signed the order on the 4th of September. A recent survey conducted by Nikkei Asia has revealed that more than 80% of Japan's automotive parts makers have passed the added costs of these levies on to consumers, while others are considering doing the same. Prior to Trump returning to the Oval Office, local cars and auto parts have been subject to a comparatively small 2.5% levy. So it's gone from 2.5% all the way up to 25. Now it's going back down, but still 15 is a lot higher than 2.5. This report said in April, none of the companies surveyed had increased prices because of the tariffs. But after nearly 6 months, many firms are unable to continue absorbing the higher duties, and they're having to pass on some of the tariffs. But they're also losing money at the same time. Nissan and Mazda, two good examples. Subaru as well. In exchange for the reduction in baseline tariffs to 15%, Japan will increase the procurement of rice, interesting, and agricultural products, including corn, soybeans, fertilizer, bioethanol, and other US products by 75% in a move worth $8 billion per year. In a bid to increase the number of US-made vehicles in Japan, the nation will also no longer require US cars to undergo additional testing as long as they meet safety certifications in the United States. I can't see too many Japanese people wanting to buy American cars, though, to be honest. It's just they've got a totally different car market. Anyway, The country's government has agreed to invest $550 billion in the United States, which, according to the Trump administration, will generate hundreds of thousands of jobs. The Trump administration will select where Japan's $500 million or $550 billion will be invested. It's so weird. It reminds me of Mao Zedong, right? The communist dictator back in the 60s and 70s when they had the Great Famine. And basically, under his genius, the government would decide exactly the same thing. You could read the same thing. Um, the government will generate hundreds of thousands of jobs. The Trump administration will select where Japan's $550 billion will be invested. So, free market? Nah, we'll select where that money goes. Now, Japan agreeing to give $550 billion in investment into the United States seems like a pretty steep price to pay for reducing tariffs on the automotive industry and parts industry from 25 to 15%. You'd be thinking, is this even a good deal? It doesn't even sound like it is. Japan also has to buy a bunch of rice and corn and other crap from the United States as well. It sounds to me like it's a tough deal for Japan. But remember, the Japanese economy is built around its automotive industry. If it loses that, it's in big trouble. So it doesn't have much choice. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. A former high-ranked executive at General Motors, Michael Dunn, and now one of the most respected global industry analysts, has revealed exactly how you guys in America are going to be able to buy electric cars from China with no tariffs. I'm talking, okay, a tiny, tiny little tariff, which is minuscule. Lower tariffs than Europe, put it that way, much lower. He says they're going to come through the back door, through an avenue that has already been planned. China has seen this opportunity and they are currently, well, flooding a certain market with these zero mileage used cars from China. Basically, these cars are going to go to the US. And I think this is actually a genius plan. I honestly think the US government has lost their minds. I think putting a tariff on EVs from China, I understand doing that, but not putting 100 and whatever percent it is. That is ridiculous. That kind of protectionism, that has never worked out for any country ever. It's never. Tell me an example of how that level of protectionism, basically banning your citizens from purchasing a vehicle, has that ever worked out? It's never been a success. But either way, China said, well, okay, great, you do that and we'll figure out a way around it. And they already have. Michael Dunn has just revealed how exactly it's happening.